Hi everybody, happy Monday and welcome to Happy Hour with Holly. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Holly Whitmore and I am an independent consultant with Arbonne, but on Mondays I turn it over to my guests who are all small business owners and I interview them so that you can all get to know them a little bit better. So today I am here with Keira.
Hi,
Malowitz,
Just
sorry.
go with Keira.
Keira of DFW Decluttered, and Keira and I met at FAB in Colleyville, Texas, and FAB is Females Advancing Business. It is a fabulous group of women business owners, and I highly suggest the group if you are anywhere in kind of the Metroplex area and can get there. It's a really nice group of supportive women, and that's how we met, so I'm excited to have you. So thank you. Cheers.
Thank you for having
a little
me.
bit of our
good.
Scout and Cellar wine.
Lovely.
So
My favorite.
I know, it's so good. So are you from here originally?
No, but I've lived more years in Texas than anywhere else. So
Okay.
I'm originally from Connecticut.
Oh,
Yeah, the other sea, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Callie. And how long have you been here?
Well, we moved here when I was younger, when I was
Oh, okay.
12. I lived here for 10 years through middle school, high school, and college. And then
Dallas area or somewhere
Yep.
else? Okay.
Dallas, Fort Worth area. And then I left for 16 years.
Oh.
And then I found out I was having twins.
Hey.
And I needed my mom. I already had one child, so
Okay.
I was like, okay, we're now going from 1 to 3.
Yeah.
So
Big jump. It's a big jump.
So we decided to move back.
Cool.
My husband's not from here, but we decided to. He was pushing anyway to move south because it's nice and warm most of the time.
Where is he from originally?
Long Island, New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So also cold.
Yeah.
Although I hear the cold here is colder than the colds in New York. Would you or in Connecticut? Or?
It is, but it's not as, I mean, even though it gets windy here, I lived in Boston for 10 of those years
Okay.
I was away, and it is very windy. So
Okay.
it's actually windier than Chicago. Don't ask me why, but
Yeah. My husband's
little
from
known fact.
Great Falls, Montana, and that is
Oh.
actually, I think, the windiest city in the United States or something close to
Yeah.
that. I mean, it is crazy windy there. So who knows
yeah, that's
how
the
thing.
thing. We don't
cities
understand
get
that.
there.
So yeah, so we moved south and we're never going
Moved
north
south.
again. And we're never going north again.
And where are you guys? Are you in Colleyville or are you in
We are in Grapevine.
Grapevine?
So we're in
Okay.
Grapevine. We're one house from the Colleyville border. The
Okay.
sign, we can even see it from our house. It
Okay.
says "Welcome to Colleyville," and then like just a hop, skip, and a jump is Euless. So
Okay.
we're in a weird part of town.
I'm still trying to figure out. See, Euless, I just heard about the other day. Somebody said something about Euless. I was like, Euless, where's that?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
even know. I
it's-
didn't realize it was right here.
It's so like we're 121 in Glade, and that's like
Yeah.
Colleyville, Grapevine, Euless. Every corner is
Oh.
a different town.
Oh,
So
how fun.
Yeah.
Well, Grapevine has such a cute little downtown.
Yes, we love it. We're in South Grapevine, but we love the community. So
Yeah.
and my parents live in Colleyville, so we're
Oh my gosh, how perfect.
we're all about Grapevine, Colleyville. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about DFW Decluttered. This is kind of a newer venture.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 9 months now.
Okay.
So officially.
Okay.
But I was doing it unofficially before then.
Okay, so you decluttered, so you help people.
Yeah, so I help people go through their things and declutter and get organized. I really believe that the solution to being organized is to have less stuff.
Yep.
So I feel like that's actually the long-term solution. So I can make something look really beautiful and pretty and labeled and all that, just like any other professional organizer. But my passion and my love is to help people let go of some of their belongings.
Okay.
So.
And how do you help people do that? Is there a magic trick?
Well, I do coach. So sometimes,
Okay.
it's a process. It depends on, some people, some clients just want me to come in and they're ready to go and they're
Okay.
making decisions and I'm just kind of there to help them
Okay.
and also help like where does the clutter go
Okay.
when they're ready to let it go. But otherwise, I do coach on tips and tricks usually
Okay.
as I go, and because I talk to my clients as we work. Sometimes I work with them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes they're very busy professionals and we tag team.
Okay.
and I, give them homework a little bit,
Okay.
And then we communicate, whether it's via text or phone or FaceTime or whatever. And I really work around each client, what their needs are. So
when you get a pile or a box or whatever stuff that's gonna go, do you help dispose of that, or you help?
Yes. So today is a perfect example. I had 2 clients in one day, and my car is completely full right now because I was coming to your house. But I did manage to stop at a electronics place where I donated a bunch of like a computer screen, other electronics, that because they're working with a local nonprofit to help some people. So that's kind of why I went there, because there's places all over DFW you can go to.
Okay.
And then I go to a donation place. Sometimes if a client has a lot of books and they want a little money back, I'll go to like Half Price Books. There's a few of them in the DFW area that are great used bookstores. My kids love the used bookstores. Well, I love the used part of the bookstores. Because if they love books and puzzles and games, that's
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's fun. Go with some money.
Awesome.
So and I just kind of make deliveries, as I'm trying. So the goal is really to get it out of their house. So once they're ready to let it go, right? You don't want to see it anymore. Yeah. And so my job is to take it away and help them with that process. So.
Okay. So do you mostly get contacted by clients who are like, my closet's a mess, or my house is full, or my garage? I mean, what kind of, or a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything. Okay. I mean, I've done stuff just from a pantry, just trying to help people kind of get organized in their pantry. Usually that does filter a little bit into the kitchen area.
Yeah.
To garages, organizing garages. We have a lot of stuff that people store in their garage that... you're like, hello. That you may store it may look nice, but then you never see it again. Really. So I've done everything. I also do small businesses, so I've helped a few people with their business, just in clearing out any clutter, making their office more efficient, easy to have a system in place. With paper. And
now I know you've also worked with one of my friends, Lavon Bullish. She's a realtor, so you help realtors as well.
Yeah, so I get actually a lot of calls from realtors. I try to leave some openings in my schedule, because usually when realtors call me, they're under a timeline.
Yeah.
They need photos taken and all these things. So I try to leave a little bit of space in there for sometimes, not usually this time of year. It's not so busy with realtors, but I do work with realtors, whatever they need.
Okay, help, because I'm sure they see everything walking into houses.
Yes. Most of the time, most realtors tell me that 90% of their clients have, too much stuff to show. It doesn't mean that client is ready to let go of it, but my goal is, and especially like Lavon and other realtors like her, they want their clients to be happy in their new home. So I work with them in going through that process of maybe letting go some stuff if they're ready, or guiding them to that. And that way, when they move into their new home, it's not quite so overwhelming, because moving and unpacking and all that's very overwhelming.
Such a great time to purge, though.
Yes, it is. And sometimes clients haven't had that opportunity, especially if you're moving for an employer. I have had a client into, that I'm like, they didn't get a chance to even look at what was packed. Oh, wow. So I do it on the other side of the unpacking.
Okay. So I was a little bit worried about you coming into my house, because I've been home alone for a week, and my house is crazy. Is your house nice and organized?
Well, I have 3 children, so it's not perfect. It's real life, right?
Yeah.
So, but my goal is that either me or my children can pick up in 5 to 10 minutes, regardless of the room. And, but you'll walk into my house, you'll see toys and maybe things out on the counter, and, just because we're living in the space.
Right.
So it's more about having a place for what we do have. And not necessarily as storage. So we try not to use our home as storage. Yeah. So
So I know there was a really big popular thing that was going on, and maybe still is, the Marie Kondo.
Yes.
Kondo Mari.
Yeah, she's been very good for my business.
Yeah. I'm like,
I
so
thought people would go and do it on their own, but they really want the help.
help.
You know? Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did the clothing part, and then after that, I was
It's
like,
very overwhelming. I don't take the same approach as her. I mean, I love Marie Kondo though, but I don't take the same approach because I cannot possibly imagine bringing all your clothes. First of all, starting in the closet as a woman who's been different weights, right? Like you know, it's just mentally that's a very challenging place to start. So I don't ever start in a closet if I'm doing a whole house.
Okay.
But for the closets that I've done, I never like empty it all out and then bring back what's important. I don't. That's not how I approach it. So.
Okay. Yeah, we did it, and we got rid of 12 bags of like big trash bags of clothes and jackets before we moved here. But
wow, that's impressive. That's very good.
I feel like I was just telling the kids we need to go back through stuff and get rid of it.
So, and part of my coaching is talking to my clients about maybe being more intentional on the other end, so the upfront part where you're buying the clothes. So sometimes it's out of our control.
I have a girlfriend you could.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's out of our control. Like, you know, I have parents who are grandparents.
Yeah.
You know, but over the years I've navigated that and helped other clients navigate that, and it works. You know.
So how did you end up getting into this? Because when I met you were doing something else.
Yeah, so I was doing this all along actually, but I just didn't have it like as an official business.
Okay.
Well, I have twins that I had 5 years ago, and at that point I left my career and I decided to stay home, and I kind of had already found my passion in decluttering, and I had twins, so I wasn't really leaving the house, so I would have play dates at my house. Yeah. Play dates meaning for mom.
Absolutely.
Right. And then I had some friends who would come and they'd look around my house and they're like surprised, right? Because you think twins, you think two of everything, and that wasn't necessarily the case for us. So. We minimized what we needed, and luckily we had our practice child. We had another child, so we kind of had an idea of what maybe we needed, maybe we didn't. Times change though; they're almost 5 years apart. So so I would have friends over, and they'd be like, "Well, can we? When you're ready to have play dates at my house, can we go here? And then maybe while our kids are playing or rolling around on the floor, we can work on the kitchen or or my closet and that's kind of how I unofficially started over the last few years. So, but I got into it because my father is a hoarder. So so that's been an ongoing project working with him. He lives out of state, so it's progress with him, and my husband, his mother-in-law, she's since passed, but she was a hoarder as well. So here we are, like 15 years ago, get together, and we just combine households without getting rid of one thing.
Oh my gosh!
And we realized, we had some work to do, right? Yeah. So we found our way together through all that, in letting go a lot of our stuff, and then helping others, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So.
What made you decide to really make it official 9 months ago? Well,
I had enough friends tell me that I had worked with, like, you really need to be doing this as a business, because I'm very patient, and I'm nice, so and I don't judge ever. I mean, my father's a hoarder, so I would never judge somebody else's house or business, and so I just feel like I had enough people tell me that I was like, okay. And my mom retired in February, so that helped.
Hey, well, that does help. Yeah,
she's my pick up after school, and she, on Sundays and stuff like that. So,
do you feel like hoarding is hereditary? I have a friend who thinks it is.
Yes, I think it doesn't even have to be hoarding. I think a lot of what I see with my clients, the tendencies that they have, if I'm really talking to them and getting to know them, I discover sometimes those tendencies come from our parents. Just like anything else, good and bad, right?
Yes.
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
So, I totally just blanked what I was going to ask you. Oh, would you have like one tip that you would give people about how to take a stab at decluttering on their own before they call you?
Yeah, of course. I always tell people advice is free. I mean, I'm not going to go through their house,
right?
But little tips, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, especially as we go into the holidays, I would actually just walk from room to room with, whether it's a trash bag or if your house is relatively clean and you don't necessarily have trash. Walk with have a container or a bag that you can fill with donatable items, like items that are creating clutter that, as Marie Kondo would say, aren't bringing you joy,
yes.
or are not necessarily. It's more, even if it's a decor item that's bothering you, because that happens, it becomes more work than it should be. I have a couple clients who hate dusting, right? And they're like, this just collects dust, right? Yeah. Well, then they're not really enjoying that.
Right,
so we have to find a different solution. And so, just walk from room to room and fill a bag and see what you come up with. Just doing that. If you've never done it, that's a really good start.
Place to start. Yeah, I was telling my kids too, this is such a great time of year to go through toys, clothes, to donate, people less fortunate, you take it to
absolutely.
Goodwill or local churches or whatever, just to get.
And there's especially in the DFW area, it's really everywhere, but in the DFW area where I'm obviously focused, there are so many nonprofits that are looking for various items. So in a week, I literally visit like 10 different places, and they're not always the same. I'm constantly trying to meet new people from other nonprofits that maybe collect stuffed animals or something that maybe people have a hard time, they don't know where to get rid of it when they want to get rid of it, and so I try to discover what the needs are, so that if I have a client, I can just drop the stuff off that week and be here you go. And I think somebody say stuffed animals. We have a stuffed animal problem in our house, and I never know what to do with it. Every child has a love of stuffed animals. Oh my gosh! Right? So.
Yeah, my daughter, she's never been into dolls, anything. It's just always been stuffed animals, but most places won't take them. And so I know our school just put out a big bin for some company that's coming to collect stuff,
and they
take stuffed animals and they recycle them, and I think that's fabulous. So if there's something you could look up in your area too, if you have a stuffed animal problem, like so many of us do. I just told her, I was like, we go through all these stuffed animals and stick them in that bin.
Well, also my kids have allergies, so even if they're not taking them into their bed, if they're in their room just collecting dust, so
I didn't even think about that.
A lot of people don't think about it, but I'm just more aware of it because I have allergies.
That's a really interesting point. And now, how far of an area do you service?
I service really all of DFW. I have driven an hour to a client before, so I'm really, my goal is really to help people, so I kind of, I try to work with their schedule, but also if they're farther away, we may work longer days, but usually I'm pretty flexible with that. So, and I work with all ages. I've had parents hire me to work with kids, usually like the 8 and up when they're, more ready to go on their own, maybe 8, 9 and up. And then all the way up to like 80 plus. I don't usually ask their age once we're to that point because that would be rude. So,
have any Lego organization tips? I was just thinking my son.
Oh my gosh, many things you could do with Legos. A lot of people like to sort them by color, but I think it makes it hard for when you need a piece. So. I just think having them in bins, but also limiting how many bins does a child really need of Legos. So.
That's what my son only has Legos, but that's his like main toy, and I'm like, but seriously, how many do we need? Like, I'm pretty sure I could dump out like 2 or 3 bins of this, and you never notice.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And my my daughter is also a fan of Legos, so some that she's assembled that she's like, don't touch, for her younger siblings. Sure. And I've encountered this with clients as well. We put shelves up because those shelves will eventually be used as for school or whatever as they move through the year. Yeah, exactly. Through the years growing up. So it's something that's practical through the time.
Oh, that's a good idea. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
And I have the link to Keira's company in the about section of this live. And if you're watching the playback, comment playback. If you have any questions for Keira, go ahead and write them in the comments, and we will be answering them over the next few days.
Yes, absolutely.
But thank you so much for
Thanks
joining
for
my
having
happy
me.
hour.
Oh,
Cheers.
thank you so much
Yes,
for having
and
me.
if
I
you're a
really
small
appreciate
business
it.
owner and would like to be interviewed, even if you're not local to the Dallas area, maybe you just have some knowledge you'd like to share with people, or you do have a company where you can help people anywhere, just send me a message and we can set up a time for you to be on Happy Hour with Holly as well. Good night.
Bye.
Maybe not. You're going to stick with us forever.
That's all right.
Okay.
It's good to be on.
Yeah. Bye. Okay, bye for real now.